Hey, this is Darren, day 60, sad day in Boston, Massachusetts. Watching the reports, just got home off the plane. I had heard something on the way and only caught a few of the CNN reports in the airport on layover. So, getting home and getting updated. But, um, wow, I will say some prayers tonight for those families who were affected by this. Horrible, horrible. Our report today finally finished the book, and you can tell a good book when there is a lot of dog-haired pages, almost every other one. And I'm going to be starting on this book next. And after this one, I promise to start the process of writing. One of the things that we have when we have goals is sometimes we want to learn, and we see people who are, even in the speaking world, who are perpetual students, who learn, and before they test, they want to learn, and what else can they learn before they actually have to go do it? So that is my commitment, saying it here so I don't end up that way, because a little bit of me is kind of nervous about the writing process. I'm actually excited about the selling process, but the writing process scares me a little because I've never written anything like this, and I think it's important. So some of the ahas that I had took a lot of green highlights here from Michael's book. First, he said, this again, if you're following along, which I hope you are, following along, the at the end, Michael interviews literary agents on what to do and in terms of what they see, because they get pitched to all the time. So what are the mistakes, common mistakes they see, and then what are the best pitches they see? What are the elements about them? Kind of like the own the stage, or the must-haves and the must-avoids. So this one is from Julian. She says, when she's talking about looking at scripts, usually they're too long. And she said they fail to give you a connection between the writer and the story. Very common. So I think this is big for me because I definitely have that without a doubt. So I didn't realize that that was such an important aspect. So for me, that was a big aha. Another one by Ken. Pitching mistake is not hooking the idea quickly enough. And then number two, he says it's not relevant today. So a storyline may have had a great concept that was a social issue years ago, is how I'm interpreting it, but not as relevant today. So because things have changed. So with mine, I see it's really based on taking self-responsibility and not letting other people talk you out of your dream. I see it as the problem I see in the younger generation is that the sense of entitlement. Yeah, that doesn't work. People come from other countries with the American dream and they make it happen and they're appreciative all the way. And yet we have most people who are born here and have decent lives and then just have a sense of entitlement. Doesn't get you to the top of anything. Also, we have most importantly, a great pitch is always confident and passionate. I think I will have that. I will have no issue there, but I won't know until I go to one of these pitch fests. Another, short pitches should be short and sweet. The quicker the better. Though it also shows the reader that if they can have a succinct pitch, then chances are they have a succinct storytelling sense, whereas they don't drag it on and they keep the story moving. Another one from Heather Hale Productions. In most cases, it's not the writer's passion. In more cases than not, it's not the writer's passion. I wonder, what is it about the story that has gotten under her skin and compelled them to tell it? So I see that as a plus or positive. Then I have here, next, there was a lot of good notes on this one, a lot of good ahas as I finished up the book. I like a book that ends strong. And I realized this was great for product too, for those of you creating product, that just interviewing prospective customers and getting their perspective on this. And one of the ones is if the author can deliver a joke well, that's That's huge. A joke is a story unto itself. So, yeah, I can use my Subway joke in there. Um, Nothing on the last page, and then finally, um, they said if you're trying to get a $15 million movie created and you can get your pitch down to 3 sentences, that would be 5 million per sentence, which is pretty good to put the effort into making it succinct. And then Paul Margulis, not sure how they pronounce that, who did a lot of TV series like MacGyver, um, Pacific Blue, Sirens. He says, the ones that I bought, producer TV shows, has always been about the great premise. And what I heard in the last few is that the premise is really what sells it. So you could be a very slick pitcher and have an okay idea and it's not going to sell. And you could be an okay pitcher but have a great premise, and that is what sells. So most of the people who listen to pitches are intuitive enough to know the difference between what they're really looking for and not. So as important as the pitch is that Michael says, it's also more important to have the great story and the great premise that's different yet can fit into that Hollywood formula, make it commercial. In other situations where I didn't feel confident with the pitch I was doing, the idea was fantastic, and that got bought. And let's see, what else we got here? Oh, this was great. I heard a producer say something that was always stuck in my head. It's brilliant as far as I'm concerned. He said, I've had more writers come in here and pitch and sell me a story in the first 5 minutes and then unsell me in the next 5 minutes. I gotta learn to shut up. A lot of pitchers have to learn to shut up. So, yeah. And another one by Susan, who is the creator of the Great American Pitch Fest. She said that she had to give an average of 200 pitches before she sold a project. So it's kind of nice to have that number. Hopefully it's not 200 pitches, but hey, if you know it's 200, you're not going to worry about getting to 15 or 20 and feel bad about it. You got a long way to go. Kind of like a speaker who's worried about speech number 3. Get to 100, get to 200 as fast as you can. And then, this was another great insight. People spending all their time and energy trying to figure out how to become master salesmen. Their energy's in the wrong place. They should put all that hard work and seat of the pants work into figuring out where is the greatness in the idea that I'm trying to develop. Love. Oh, it just goes on and on. Lots of green highlights. The whole book's green. I have to leave some white just so you can see the green. I can identify it. The best pitches are I can identify with them, and I can identify with the character with the characters, but who do and say things that I've done and said before. Fresh is the key. Another is the protagonist. What has the protagonist discovered about themselves at the end of the script? The lessons learned is a universal theme or truth that interests me, and the rest of the pitch suggests a well-structured screenplay. That's when he requests a script. Worst pitches, they don't have a clear logline. The protagonist's goal is unclear. That's awesome because I keep hearing this again and again, so it's sinking in. And then here's another one. Please don't lie to me and say that you've loved our films, meaning his company, if you've never watched them. Whenever possible, try to research a company, know as much as they can. And with the internet, he says, it's easy to find a lot of information. Just don't lie. They've heard them all before. So, and let's see. Nothing intellectual can surpass or negate the initial reaction. Want to get a good reaction to the pitch? That's why you got to have a good pitch. Gold is to hear a story idea on a topic everyone knows, but there's not been a film to exploit it. So everyone knows about public speaking, but no real film other than The King's Speech. Not that we can relate to being a king, but we saw his challenge in that one. Best short pitches I've ever heard. It's about two people who are such good friends they're willing to kill for each other. That's a succinct line and get you to want more. So there's a lot going on. Took a lot of notes. This book is done. I'm going to type out some notes to go with this blog post for next time. And then it's on to Sid Field, the book that was recommended to me personally by a Hollywood producer that actually started this whole thing. So I'm kind of coming back to that. And then it's rating time, rating time, rating time. All right. So God bless the families in Boston who were affected today, and God bless your dream. What will you do to make progress? Stage time.